I immediately knew that was going to happen.
I was going to say you can use it to hold down your notes.
That's okay. Good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
My name is Evan Goyke, the new city attorney in the city of Milwaukee. I'm going to set the stage here and then come back and get into the details of today's announcement. The residents of Milwaukee are no stranger to the issue of reckless driving. The elected leaders of the city of Milwaukee have been called into action and have acted in a number of ways. Today's announcement is an extension of those efforts and a new coordinated effort between the Milwaukee Police Department, the Milwaukee City Attorney's Office, and the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office. I want to acknowledge and recognize, we'll hear from Mayor Johnson shortly and Common Council President Jose Perez in a second. I want to acknowledge Alderman Scott Spiker, Alderman DeAndre Jackson, Alderman Peter Burgellis, and let me check really quick. There's a lot of committee hearings happening inside. I know there are a number of other members of the Common Council that can't be here that are supportive of the effort we're announcing here today. So please welcome to the podium, just a little housekeeping, we're going to have the Mayor, the Common Council President, Chief Norman, myself, and Deputy District Attorney Kent Laverne speak in that order. So we'll hear first from the Mayor.
Great, thank you so much, Attorney Goyke. It's really a pleasure to have you in office and be able to work with you on an issue that is so important to people all over Milwaukee, regardless of what neighborhood you live in. Our efforts to stem reckless driving, they're producing some real results here in the city. Where we have re-engineered streets in Milwaukee, speeding on those streets has been reduced. We're boosting public attention to reckless driving and highlighting the importance, though, of changing that behavior. And we're enforcing the law. We're issuing tickets and we're arresting the worst offenders. My priorities as it relates to public safety generally in Milwaukee are built on two pillars. They are prevention and they are accountability. And that's what's guiding Milwaukee's actions on reckless driving as well. Everyone that's standing here today, along with Attorney Goyke and I, all of us agree reckless drivers will be held accountable and held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. We're not excusing that behavior, we're not easing up on that behavior, and we're not forgiving of that behavior either. For reckless drivers, the penalties are real, and they've got to be real. And the penalties and the consequences, they've got to be harsh. Importantly, I want anybody even thinking, having it going through their head, they're going to get out on the streets in Milwaukee and drive recklessly, to know that we're focused on stopping that very behavior. So again, I really appreciate the partnership, the cooperation between all who are here, all who have brought us here today, especially City Attorney Evan Goyke, and thank everyone for playing an important role in this process. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Common Council President Jose Perez.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Attorney Goyke, everyone who's here present today. In July of 2017, in response to public outcries to both address mobile drug dealing and overall reckless driving, the Fire Police Commission directed the Chief of Police to amend Standard Operating Procedure 660 to include allowing for police members to justifiably pursue fleeing vehicles when the police member knows or has probable cause to believe that the vehicle has engaged in excessively reckless driving, including excessive speeding, reckless lane changing, and failure to stop at signals and signs. Myself and many of the colleagues both sponsored and attended reckless driving summits at the time in an effort to speak to everyone, especially our youth that engaged in various forms of reckless driving, to let them know to please change their behavior, and there will be a different set of consequences that they'll soon face. Just as the pursuit policy changed in 2017, we must continue to make those efforts to the community members to make them aware of these laws when they change or they are applied differently. That's why we're here today. This law has been on the books, but now due to the continued stress and fear that reckless drivers have applied to our streets, I agree that this must be implemented. We are in 7 years into the revised MPD pursuit policy. 7 years. The death and destruction are far too great for us as policymakers to be complacent on this issue. That said, I, as council president, and all my colleagues, especially when it comes to addressing youthful, nonviolent, and first-time offenders, and to the greater community, will continue, and we are committed to pursuing both educational and non-enforcement options to reckless driving. What's going on now is just simply unacceptable, and we must do more on all fronts to eliminate reckless driving. Appreciate the opportunity today to be here. Thank you. Chief?
Thank you, Government Council President Perez. I am grateful today for this announcement because it gives another tool in our toolbox to combat reckless driving. The solution to reckless driving just isn't one thing. It's everyone in this community thinking creatively and putting ideas into action. I am pleased with our partnership with both the City Attorney's Office and the District Attorney's Office on the initiative. MPD officers will be directed to issue state citations for reckless driving and all provable offenses. Officers are also encouraged to write tickets for all other violations observed, not just reckless driving. We are grateful to the City Attorney who committed to the full prosecution of reckless driving citations, and we're also grateful to the District Attorney who's committed to prosecuting the second offense at the state level. Again, this will be a collaboration between the City Attorney's Office and the District Attorney's Office, where we are issuing state citations for the second offense. This partnership recognizes a holistic approach where the enforcement and prosecution arms of the justice system are aligned to achieve the common goal of increased safety in Milwaukee. By increasing the municipal convictions for reckless driving, habitual offenders will be more likely to find themselves in criminal court for their dangerous driving. Community members are encouraged to be part of the solution. First, slow down. Reckless driving isn't just done by repeated violators or young ones. I've seen firsthand all kinds of people driving too fast, irresponsibly, driving and disobeying traffic signs, or passing illegally. Second, if you have ideas, please share them with us and your elected officials, for we all need to work together to make our city safe. We are better together.
Thank you, Chief Norman. Again, I'm City Attorney Evan Goyke. The City Attorney's Office staffs and prosecutes the citations that are referred by police to municipal court. I want to recognize Deputy City Attorney Julie Wilson and Assistant City Attorney Alex Miller. Alex is here with us today. Alex and his colleagues are on the front line of prosecuting municipal violations. I'm going to get nerdy for a minute with you all to get into the weeds of some of the announcement today. 2023 Wisconsin Act 9 increased the utility of a state crime called repeated reckless driving. Act 9 increased the penalties and eliminated a look-back window in the driver's history of reckless driving. And the law as it is today means that for a second reckless driving offense, an individual can be subject to criminal penalties and up to 1 year in jail. But necessary for that second or subsequent offense is a first offense. And that's where the City Attorney's Office and the municipal prosecutors come into play. Starting today, effective today, we will no longer amend or dismiss reckless driving citations. Those that are issued under Wisconsin State Statute 34662 sub 2, we will not amend or dismiss these tickets. Whether it's a conviction through a trial or through a plea, we are going to hold reckless drivers accountable. What that conviction does is sets that driver up for new enhanced criminal penalties should they decide to reoffend and drive reckless again. This offense, reckless driving, isn't just about speed or the conditions of the road. In its essence, it's about putting property and people at risk. Negligent driving at speeds and conditions that place individuals' property and individuals at risk. So this is really about public safety. It doesn't give me great joy to make this announcement. It's about holding these individuals accountable and achieving results and safer streets in the city of Milwaukee. So you've seen the speakers here. The police department issues the citations. The city attorney's office prosecutes first offense. And moving forward, the district attorney's office will handle the prosecution in state court of second or subsequent offenses. And I'll turn it over to the Chief Deputy District Attorney, Kent Laverne.
Thank you, Evan. You know, the reality is everyone deserves to be safe in their daily lives. And what we do know is for far too often now over the years, reckless driving has jeopardized the ability of people to feel safe each and every day. It's compromised that sense of safety that we all deserve to feel. And people in Milwaukee and throughout Milwaukee County have said repeatedly that they want a stronger response to reckless driving. And those of us in the public safety field have to deliver that stronger response to them. We can do that, we must do that, and it has to be done fairly, firmly, and consistently. I have with me today Assistant DA Kim Shep. She oversees our traffic enforcement here in the DA's office. And our policy with regard to reckless driving has always been very clear. We do not reduce that charge. We recommend jail and ask judges to put people in jail who are reckless drivers. The penalty that Evan referred to is 12 months in jail for a repeat reckless driver as a maximum penalty, or a fine of $500. And we will continue moving forward with this very direct policy of recommending jail and not reducing the charge of reckless driving. Because the reality is this type of driving endangers everyone in our community, and behavior that hurts or has the potential to hurt other people deserves a very straightforward response. Thank you.
I guess we'll open up to a couple of questions.
Attorney Goyke, what changed? Why now?
Well, I wish that I could have executed this on my first day in office. I will admit to taking a few days to getting to know my way around and getting to know the lawyers in municipal court. It's also a review of this. This is still a relatively new state law that passed. The elimination of this look back makes the utility of repeat reckless driving much more prosecutable, right? I mean, we had this narrow window of looking back into a driver's record that really narrowed the number of individuals subject to this criminal penalty. That window is eliminated, and also it's about reviewing what we do and why we do it. And I think all of the elected leaders here today are committed to looking in the mirror and how their offices are run and making sure policies fit the need. And you know, reckless driving has been a clear top issue for the residents of Milwaukee. I heard it throughout the campaign this past spring, and I made a commitment to crack down on reckless driving, and I'm proud to be here to follow through with that promise.
This question is for Chief Norman, if he's available to take a question. The traffic safety unit has written just over 3,200 speeding citations this year. That's not on pace to match last year's numbers, and it was said here that this new effort does hinge on citations being issued by MPD. So I'm curious about what the plan is to step up enforcement.
So the enforcement's always been there, and the traffic safety unit is only one arm in regards to the enforcement of traffic. I always talk about this particular issue about how many citations is the right citations. The glass is half full, not half empty in my eyes. As we see all these efforts being put forth in our community, enhancing the engineering in regards to the streets, we're seeing reductions in fatalities, we're seeing reductions in crashes. It all aligns. So the directive is still there to enforce and to ensure that we're being responsive to our community. But this effort now really starts to drill down. Those who do not take the hint that the citation is a warning. Now you're entering into a criminal situation where you can have the potential of have to go through the process of a criminal court, the potential of having your vehicle impounded in regards to you are engaged in this repeated behavior. So the ante is now elevated in regards to this collaboration, which is why I'm so proud to be able to stand here with the elected officials, with the mayor, with the common council president, the alders, and also our other arms of law enforcement, whether the DA's office and the city attorney's office. We are united. We are saying enough is enough. Tools are being bestowed upon our officers to ensure that we're able to use every means to impact public safety, especially when it comes to reckless driving.
All right, thank you, everybody. I have a follow-up question, Chief, if you don't mind. I thought other people were going to ask questions. I apologize.
The mayor's here too.
We basically, and please feel free to chime in. I've talked to a few of these aldermen standing up here right now about this issue. It's basically the same thing for drivers without a license. The first one is a municipal fine. The second one should be referred, or can be referred by your office to Kent's office, the DA's office. Do you plan on doing that in the future on top of this?
So there's certain limitations with operating without a license, and there are things that we're discussing amongst the partnerships. As we see, and as you heard the attorney Goike talk about in regards to that, we are still dealing with the change in leadership. We're more than willing to work with the offices because yes, we might bring the citations forth or try to use other means, but it takes a collaborative combination of effort to be able to make sure that what we do will be taken on to the next step in regards to the next level of prosecution.
Do you plan to run that second OWL similarly to this?
We are open to looking at all the options and tools and ensuring that we're all on the same sheet of music when it comes to that type of enforcement.